Hi everybody, welcome to your 4 to 5. Aaron Chilton here with Tandy Ramiro, Ben Briscoe.
Hi guys.
Today.
What day is today? It's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I was like, what day is it?
It's a great day because it is a very busy day around the Triad. We've got a brand new Panthers coach that you get to meet.
That's right.
Learn all about his strategy for the team. But first, we want to get to the afternoon's top stories. Right now, new at 4 o'clock, we are learning about a third Greensboro Police Officer Department employee to be fired and charged for sex crimes. GPD says officers say the state completed an investigation and charged former crime analyst Matthew Hammonds. He's facing 3 counts of felony second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. Now today, Chief Thompson fired him. Hammonds is on jail on a $50,000 bond. All Elkin City schools are closed today and could be tomorrow too. The district and law enforcement is investigating a threat involving student and staff safety. The superintendent said out of caution, she canceled all classes and all students and staff activity. Officials say the threat was made on Snapchat as someone reported it through the Sandy Hook Promise, a nonprofit that aims to prevent suicide and mass shootings. We have a reporter in Elkin gathering updates, and we'll have more information coming up at 5 o'clock. Today marks 1 year since that devastating Winston Weaver fertilizer plant fire. Firefighters had to evacuate thousands of people, everyone living within a 1-mile radius of the plant. For days, the fire burned as officials feared a large explosion. Now, fortunately, crews were able to put out the blaze before that happened. But since then, the city's approved some rule changes to prevent future disasters like this. They include a fresh start for the plant. The city ultimately decided Weaver cannot rebuild or restart its operation at the site that caught fire.
So I stepped outside, a little chilly, right? But our temperatures aren't going to change all that much. It's one thing when you see our low temperature and our high temperature about 4 or 5 degrees apart, you know we're going to have lots of cloud cover and some rain. That's kind of what happens. We're in the 50s for right now, 53 degrees in Winston-Salem, or excuse me, in Burlington. We have 55 there, 53 Greensboro, 52 in Mount Airy, and Wilkesboro at 54. Everybody pretty even. And with all the moisture and cloud cover, that does that. Look at this. Tonight's low at 40, the high 43. Just kind of what you see is what you get once we get to those overnight lows. Showers moving in. Yes, we'll see some of that tomorrow. We think that the rain chances are going to stay with us for at least another couple days. So Wednesday and Thursday with a good 50+% chance of rain. Rainfall totals, maybe not all that much, but we would say maybe upwards of an inch or a little less total before this whole system, actually multiple systems, leave us. You look at the radar now, some of this not reaching the ground, but you see it's light. We're actually not seeing it here in the weather garden, at least at the moment. It's one of those things where you can't see this at home, but when I'm looking in the lights, I can see almost that mist. And we're going to deal with some wet weather for another couple days. We'll go out to a wider shot. I want to show you. It's a series of low pressure systems, 3 as a matter of fact, just one right after the other. They ride right along the jet stream, so to speak. We do see icy conditions way back to our west, but that's not going to be the case for us tomorrow. It's just rain. Here's the second low. Then there's another low that comes in more out of the Gulf and brings in more moisture. That's for Thursday. So that's the 3 days in a row that we're talking about. The issue here would be for us, we'll be good on Friday, Saturday. The next system that skirts by as we go into Saturday night and early Sunday morning shows some rain with it, but the big question now is, will there be enough of that moisture kind of chasing in to catch up with that colder air? I think the cold air is in place and will be below freezing, but the big issue is, will that turn into anything wintry? And for right now, we're saying no. That's a good distance out till Sunday, but we'll keep you posted on that. You get the idea. Scattered showers. Yeah, the radar kind of looks the same over and over. Here's your 7-day forecast. Let's get right to those percentages because temperatures kind of stay the same, low to mid 40s. That's Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But Wednesday, Thursday, 50-50 chance of rain. By Friday, we're going sunshine and bump it up to 45. Keep in mind, all of that's below normal for us. A cold Saturday, sunny 37. There's that 40 on Sunday with a 30% chance. We'll keep you posted on that. Monday, Tuesday, partly cloudy and mostly sunny, and we'll warm back to the mid-50s by Tuesday of next week.
A big day in Charlotte. The Carolina Panthers introduced their new head coach, Frank Reich. The Panthers' first starting quarterback is now back as the head coach of the team. Sean Higgins takes us to Bank of America Stadium. He caught up with Coach.
down in Charlotte with new head coach Frank Reich. Coach, talk about that moment you put pen to paper to come back to Carolina.
That's crazy. Listen, in this game, it's all about winning. It's all about working together with players to do something special. So that's really the focus. But to be able to do it in a state where we raised our daughters, where I played for this franchise, it means something special.
Now, you have an offensive background, and you're a whiz in that first 15-play script. How important is it for offenses to get out early and score touchdowns to kick off games?
It's a big deal, right? I mean, there's a lot of analytics, a lot of study that goes into that. So you put every ounce of effort you have into getting that game plan right, getting it scripted right, sequencing. But it's a 60-minute game, right? So ultimately, that's what we're thinking about. We want to put together complementary football in all three phases and be really good situationally.
All right, Coach, we appreciate the time, and we cannot wait to see what that product looks like on the field on Sunday. Sean Higgins, down in Charlotte.
Nice. What a story for him to start for the Panthers.
It's exciting.
Throw their first touchdown pass, and then now be the coach and lead the team.
So we learned more about him today. What do you think? How hopeful are you?
You know what I took away from his press conference? I took away the fact that he wants to be very collaborative with this organization. And we don't know how much say Matt Rule had. That's kind of just a very gray area. But he says he wants to work with Scott Fitterer. I mean, he said Scott Fitterer, the general manager, will be in charge of the 53-man roster, and the coach will be in charge of who's active, who's inactive. But he made sure to say after, it will be a 100% collaborative effort, and I really liked that.
That's a good thing. The thing with him is he's an offensive guy, right? And that's what
we need that so badly.
We need. Desperately. I will still say, I still think Wilkes could have done the job.
I know.
You know, I don't think
sure.
he was given a fair shot. But I will say that I think the fact that he's so offensive-minded and a former quarterback makes a difference.
And really quick, I do like that he also mentioned the defense. He was very complimentary of the Panthers' defense. And even though he's this offensive-minded guy, he said to be one of these top teams in the league, you've got to have an elite top 5 defense. So that's still top of mind.
I was talking with Sean when we were getting ready for the show, and he said that it all is going to depend on which players they can get. Do you agree?
Yeah, and then Coach also said it's not just one player, it's not just one person, so
It's not just the quarterback, it's everybody else.
Though they do
put
need
around
a
them. Though they do
quarterback is
need
pretty
one.
Though
important.
that is the most important thing right
yes,
now.
okay.
Well, we got a lot of picks, too, this go around. We get a lot of good picks, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, also seeing how it's going, there's something new if you plan on flying out of RDU anytime soon. Raleigh-Durham International Airport officially launched its partnership with the company Clear. RDU security screening will now include biometric identity verification technology. Yeah, just like in those sci-fi movies, they're going to scan your eyes and your fingerprints instead of a driver's license. This is after travelers are verified by TSA security. You'll be escorted through, saving time waiting in long security lines and checkpoints. RDU is the 50th airport to launch the new security systems called Clear.
So I've seen this in other airports. I mean, and it really is just kind of like you walk there and it like, right? And then you
Really?
walk right on by.
How
Yep.
fancy.
So you just stand and look at it, basically, and it does everything it's supposed to do? Wow.
Yeah, and it definitely cuts down on the, finding your boarding pass, finding your this, flipping around, trying to do all the things, right? And the person asking about it, and then you sticking it on the thing to make sure that it gets read, and nah, it just, zoop, that's it.
So I flew out of Raleigh 2 weeks ago to go on a trip, and they have these new luggage scanners.
Yep.
That I will tell you, every single bag in line got pulled out to be searched. They're super sensitive.
Oh,
So
wow.
if you go through, expect it to take a little extra time.
So my wife thinks I'm crazy with this, but I really think the day will come when we will be chipped. I believe that, you know how we do dogs.
You think Americans will stand for that?
Well, there'll be a big fuss with it, but I think it would make things so much, missing people. There's so many good things that can come out of that. It's one of those things where I know people are going to say, see, for me, I always say, you can look at everything I do. I have nothing to hide. I'm not doing anything wrong. And a lot of people say, well, that's a violation of my privacy. Not if you can just walk through a scanner and they go, that's him, let him go. That's a benefit to me.
I feel like that's like the Minority Report, right? Remember that movie? And then they knew things, and then they thought they would know exactly what you were going to do next or
But they
whatever.
didn't.
And that's just creepy.
Well, now
Creepy.
the special effects thing of that movie when he was moving,
Yes.
that's real. That's the Oculus Rift. That what we're doing with those things is a real thing now.
I just feel like the more technology you have, the more chance you have for bad guys to corrupt it.
Can be.
I would agree with that too.
You don't want your chip hacked. That's
No.
You
basically
do
what
not.
you're saying. Not
Yes.
a good thing.
All right, we'll be right back. You can continue this
Don't
on
hack your
Facebook.
chip.
Right. All right, let's say you have a fever, or maybe you have twisted your ankle, or you're experiencing chest pain. All right, you need to seek medical treatment, but where do you do that? Let's see when you should be going to the ER versus when you should go to urgent care.
There are a lot of viruses going around this time of year, and if you're one of the many who are feeling sick, you may be wondering where to go for treatment. It can be tricky to know if you should head to the emergency room or an urgent care center. Experts say both provide rapid treatment for medical issues, but there are some differences to consider depending on your medical needs. When it comes to non-emergencies, doctors recommend that people first start with either their primary care physicians or urgent care and only visit the emergency room when all other options don't work. Urgent care is designed to handle less serious illnesses and medical situations, including minor cuts and burns, sprains, sinus and ear infections, and allergies. The urgent care center wait time is typically less than at the ER, and your bill can also be considerably lower. But there are moments when the ER is critical, like major trauma, large wounds, stroke, loss of consciousness, heart attack, or chest pain, and uncontrollable bleeding. And while the cost is higher in those situations, it could mean life or death. Finally, doctors say people with underlying health conditions, including diabetes and cancer, should always seek emergency treatment at a hospital. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Now, if you do decide on urgent care, doctors recommend going to one that's affiliated with a hospital so that doctors can then easily share records if you do end up having to then go to the hospital or go to the ER.
There's a great one right in Cone Health Hospital's parking lot, an urgent care unit that I've used for the specific reason in case you have to go over.
Right.
But you're close.
You start there, and and it's not like they're going to have to like send you by ambulance somewhere else, because you definitely don't want that ambulance bill either.
I can tell you as a parent, when you're a first-time parent, you don't know. You know, I remember one time, so two things with us. One, my twins had like asthma type things. They had the nebulizers and those puffers and all that. And I just thought he had a cold one time, and I took him probably I think Bryce was 2 years old. And I went to my doctor, and she looked at him, and she goes, "We're going to the ER." And I went, what is it? And she
Right.
goes, he needs like steroid mask and all that. I had no idea. So sometimes you don't know what the best thing to do is.
Yeah, but anytime you have like a chest pain
yes.
or anytime that you have shortness of breath, you need to go straight to the ER.
Or
We
both.
want to make that really clear. Yeah.
I will say there's huge difference between the bills. Like
Oh, yeah.
my particular insurance, it was a difference of $1,500 deductible
Yeah.
versus $100.
Sure. Yeah. So, like, if you've got the flu, you got norovirus, that kind of stuff, you're just going to go to the urgent care. Your kid fell off the monkey bars, you're going to probably just go to urgent care first and then see if you need to, like, go to the ER.
Because it's not immediate life threatening. If it's something, you know, like even my dad had a stroke and my mother wasn't sure what it was. You know, my sister's a nurse, thank goodness. And when they called her, should he go to urgent care? She goes, you know, he's going to the hospital,
ER,
he's having a stroke.
Yeah.
The other thing about if you have a minor something, you're going to get in a lot faster in urgent care than you will
Correct.
in the emergency room.
Yeah.
Because you'll be prioritized there.
Yeah, you don't want to be sitting there for
No.
all those hours waiting.
It's true.
All right. We'll be
take a
back. Bye-bye.
Cool but not cold. That's kind of where we are right now, all across the Triad. If you look to the south and we go down toward Montgomery County and Chatham, Moore, and Lee, yeah, we're seeing some low 60s there. It's really not all that bad. I mean, we're in the mid 50s here. Greensboro 54 right now. Winston-Salem at 55 along with High Point and Burlington. And back to the west, Wilkesboro there with a 54-degree reading. Notice everybody, even if you go to the mountain and foothill communities, there's not a big difference in our temperatures from there to here. That's because that blanket of clouds over us and all the moisture in the air kind of regulates temperature and normalizes it across the region. In fact, so much so that you see our overnight low in the low 40s, the high tomorrow, mid 40s. So we're not changing a lot once we get down to that 42-degree mark. 45 for the high tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Keep an umbrella handy. You're going to need this. In fact, I just wanted to show you this hour by hour. We've dropped from those 50s into the 40s, and you can see as we get into the later hours, it's a slow change, right? Not a lot of change. Just get used to this. Keep the rain gear handy. I think we're going to need it through tomorrow and the next day. Wednesday and Thursday show a good chance of rain. I'll go back out to a wider shot so you can see, yeah, there's still some more light rain around that we can see into the night tonight. Then the second system, and there's actually a third system. So look how they line up here. Here's the first low pressure, and you look at our timestamp, that's taking us through tomorrow, and then Wednesday we get the rain. Thursday there's a third system moving in. You get the idea. All of that does clear out though by Friday, and we do see some decent changes by then. It's the Sunday morning that we'll watch closely to see if we get any hint of anything frozen. And at this point, it might be a little freezing rain, just enough for maybe some front porches and bridges and overpasses. It's really not going to be a major event. If we get it at all, that's still up in the air. Rain coming through here, you can see on our future cast for the next couple of days. So really, let's just look at rain chances. We're in the low to mid 40s through Friday. It's a 50% chance Wednesday, a 60% Thursday. Friday will clear out. Saturday it's sunny and cold at 37. There's that Sunday morning. We'll watch and wait, keep you posted on that. But low to mid 50s next week, sunny to partly cloudy Monday, Tuesday. All right, foodies, listen up. That means I have Tanya Rivera's attention. We have something for you that's right down your alley, but throw in a pinch of history and some celebrities. Now you got something. It's happening here. The historic Magnolia House in Greensboro is kicking off their Supper Club series this weekend. I spoke with the Food Network's guest celebrity chef, Lisa Brooks, about her sessions that you can attend this weekend. Well, Lisa, this sounds like so much fun. I mean, for people that don't know a lot about you, tell me what we can expect.
Absolutely. Well, I am a personal chef, which means that I mainly work in people's homes. So doing private in-home dinner parties, and our company, Heart and Soul Personal Chef Service, which is based in Charlotte, but we do have chefs in Greensboro, is known and really the best. We've been doing this for 12 years. For those private in-home dining experiences, focusing on coastal Southern cuisine.
So I get the feeling that this isn't just you're not going to come in and just eat. This is kind of an interactive experience.
Absolutely, that's a big part of it. It's an experience. It's not just a dinner. I consider it storytelling. We just happen to be using the food as the medium for telling stories, and this is about preserving the legacy of my family matriarchs. That's who taught me to cook. Just those experiences of family Sunday dinners and kind of bringing bringing back to life those memories of just feasting together growing up.
So doing this at such a historic landmark, I mean, the Magnolia, that's a big deal. You know, how do you play into that?
It's really kind of full circle in that for 12 years I've been talking about preserving legacies, and that's exactly what Natalie's done at the historic Magnolia House, is just preserving that and preserving that history. Because, you know, we just can kind of look up and those things get erased. It's just the busyness of life, and, you know, and just look up and all the things are gone. But so I'm really excited to cook, and I feel like I'm gonna feel just the weight of the history of the location.
Lisa, this sounds wonderful. You shine, girl. You got that personality. I can't wait to see you do this in person. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
That is such a cool venue, and both of you said you have been there already.
Oh yeah, you're behind the times. You
I
gotta
am
go.
behind the times, and so maybe you. We all need to go.
If you haven't been, to me, it's the history of the house
Right.
is incredible.
It was in the Green Book.
Yes,
Right.
it was
A
in the
really
Green Book.
important historical location for
I mean,
Greensboro.
we could probably name 10 people, but I know like Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin. I mean, the people that stayed at that place. It's just incredible stories. Also, to pair with Lisa doing the chef, they're also doing some segments with, it's a type of bourbon and whiskey called Uncle Nearest, and there's a really cool story with it, and one of the owners of that will be there to talk about the history of that bourbon as well. So it's a really neat event.
Now they got your attention.
I know. I'm like, all of the things. It checks all of my boxes, so I
Yep.
definitely want to go.
So when I put this on WFMYnews2.com, we'll put a link in so you can buy tickets, because it's limited seating. It's not a huge
Right.
place, but it's Friday. I believe it's Friday night, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, and Sunday brunch. So you can pick one.
Okay.
And when you go, make sure to walk around, because a local interior design firm just revamped the whole place.
Yeah, it's
and
beautiful.
all the rooms are so cool.
Okay.
They're like straight out of some kind of 20s dream.
And,
All right.
and they're all different too, right?
Yeah.
They all look different. It's very neat. All right, we'll take a break. We're coming back.
Gems in your backyard.
Yo. Brad, mic check. Jalen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
feel like we're at a sporting event. It's the second half of the 4 to 5. Our halftime
We got the
did you do?
motivational pep talk in the locker room.
Our halftime show, not quite like the Super Bowl, but still, we're back again.
We were
Welcome.
moving in synchronicity, if you could have seen it, but no,
That's
sorry.
right, with the music.
Too bad.
And we are moving right along from
Okay.
that because there's a lot of news going on,
Lots.
including just hours from now, we are expected to hear from the family of Tyree Nichols. They'll be speaking at an event this evening in Memphis. Now, it comes after the fallout from the video continues. This is the brutal police beating of the 29-year-old father earlier this month. Today, the district attorney indicated more charges could be filed as this investigation unfolds. So far, 5 former officers already charged with second-degree murder. 2 more officers were relieved of their duties pending investigation, and a public funeral for Nichols is being held tomorrow. Civil rights activist Reverend Al Sharpton will be delivering the eulogy. 4 Biden administration officials are also expected to attend.
Well, you know, the temperatures for today, no arguments there with highs. And usually this time of the day, we're kind of around that high temperature, so this is about as good as it gets. 54 in Greensboro and High Point and Asheboro. Lexington with the same reading, Burlington at 55. Even if you go back toward Galax and the higher elevations, it's only 50, so everything is kind of within, what, 5 or 6 degrees of each other right now. Lots of cloud cover out there. That'll be the case into the night through tomorrow and the next day. It's not until Friday that we think we'll clear things out and get more sunshine. Saturday doesn't look too bad either. Sunday, another system moving by. That's what everybody's watching to see if we have anything with frozen precipitation, but right now we're saying no, but kind of planting the seed. We'll keep watching. We have a few days, right? So 42, the low tonight, increasing clouds, and we're already seeing some of that drizzle and light rain. That'll be the case overnight. A few showers again tomorrow, and highs hovering in the mid-40s. That is below our normal high temperature, which should be right around 50 degrees. We're warmer than that today. Could see fog again. We had that this morning. In fact, it was hanging in there pretty tough, even late in the day, or morning, I should say. We had that fog. It hangs in. Usually it leaves by about 10. Not today. It was still there for a while. We may have that again. Still some showers tomorrow, and those high temperatures, as we mentioned, mid-40s. Now, if you look at the rain coming in now, most of this is really light. Some of that literally not reaching the ground, but some of it is, and it's mostly in the form of a sprinkle or two or some mist or drizzle. Back to the west, we have several different systems. Watch them just move along, one right after the other. There goes one low. Now we're into Wednesday afternoon here. There's the second low. This is Thursday morning, the third low, and they all just bring in that rain. It looks like a lot, but we think it will end up with maybe only like about an inch or less total for the entire 3-day period here. So rain chances, let's go 50% chance for your Wednesday. It's a 60% on Thursday, highs in the around 40 to 45, all the way through Friday. Friday, some gradual clearing. Saturday, just clear and cold at 37. Sunday morning, if we were to see anything, there might be a little bit of freezing rain, but just bridges and overpasses, you know the routine, and it shouldn't be anything major, not an ice storm. Then Monday, Tuesday, partly cloudy to mostly sunny, low to mid 50s.
Governor Roy Cooper was in Greensboro today. He was announcing a new partnership, and the whole goal of the partnership is to bring more skilled workers to the Triad. WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey has more on this.
Guilford Technical Community College and the North Carolina Federation for Advanced Manufacturing Education have partnered up to provide a 2-year debt-free program that will set students up with skills needed to be successful in today's world. Governor Cooper was at GTCC's Center for Advanced Manufacturing earlier in the day, announcing this partnership, as well as stressing the importance of keeping these type of jobs right here in the Triad.
Companies all over the world know about the North Carolina Community College system. One of the challenges we have is convincing today's younger people and students that advanced manufacturing is not your father's manufacturing.
Now you may wonder, what does NC Fame do? Well, they partner with students from different industries while they take classes at community colleges, so students can gain invaluable employment experience while completing their associate degrees.
This is exciting that businesses want to come and partner with community colleges. They wouldn't do it if they weren't competent, so that's exciting for us. Part of the challenge that everybody's going to have is convincing people in our schools and adults who want to change careers that this is a way to go and a way to put more money in your pockets and the pockets of your families.
The application process is already underway for the fall of 2023, and you'll be able to find that application on our website, WFMYnews2.com.
I think it's really cool that they're able to actually get their hands on with the job that they're about to do and get paid for it at the same time.
Absolutely.
And these kinds of job training programs were cited by Toyota, Boom Supersonic, all the big companies coming to our area saying, this is what we want to see to be able to find workers.
And the bottom line, if you think about it, electricians, plumbers, there will never not be a need for those trades.
You're
and
right.
if you have a kid who can't decide what they want to do, a trade, a skill is always in need, always. And IT.
Yeah, absolutely. And like Governor Cooper was saying, these aren't your standard run-of-the-mill manufacturing jobs in a dark plant like your dad or your grandfather used to do, right? These are big, bright, open spaces that are really more focused on technology than anything else. So it's just great. And like you were saying, I mean, these fields are never going to not be in demand here. So why not get that on-the-job training?
And make our place the place for
There
that
we
kind
go.
of training and that kind of the place for that kind of employment too.
I remember my grandfather saying once, it's funny now because he said, never won't be a need for a television repairman. Wrong. they don't
He's
do that
just
anymore.
changed. He's just changed into a computer repairman.
That's
it's okay.
exactly
And
right.
listen, we broke our TV a little while ago and had it fixed a couple of weeks ago.
Did you have it fixed?
Yes.
I didn't think anybody
There's
could even do that
still
anymore.
that skill.
That's good. I don't know of one television repair shop anymore. That was a thing.
Okay.
Right now we want to get to your 4 to 5 roundup. There's a whole lot else going on in the Triad today. New at 4, we are learning of a third Greensboro Police Department employee to be fired and charged for sex crimes. GPD officials say the state completed an investigation charging former crime analyst Matthew Hammonds. He is facing 3 counts of felony second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. Today, the chief fired him. Hammonds is in jail on a $50,000 bond. All Elkin City schools are closed today, and they could be tomorrow too. The district and law enforcement's investigating a threat involving student and staff safety. The superintendent said out of caution, she canceled all classes. Officials say the threat was made on Snapchat, someone reporting it through the Sandy Hook Promise, a nonprofit that aims to prevent suicide and mass shootings. We've got a reporter in Elkin gathering updates. We'll have the latest for you at 5 o'clock. And Priscilla Presley is challenging the validity of her daughter, Lisa Marie's will. In a legal filing, she disputed the validity of a 2016 amendment to her daughter's living trust. Now, it removed her and a former business manager as trustees, replacing them with Lisa Marie's 2 oldest children. Priscilla argues there are several red flags to this amendment, including an unusual signature that doesn't match other documents. Priscilla's name is misspelled, and there was no witness signature.
Well, the USDA issued a recall of over 50,000 pounds of ready-to-eat meat due to concerns of listeria. The charcuterie-type packages were shipped to stores all over the country between December of 2022 and just last week. Now, these packages have the establishment number EST54 on the packaging. Some include Boar's Head Charcuterie Trio, like the one that you're seeing here, but there are other brands as well. So far, there are no confirmed cases of anyone getting sick. WFMY News 2 has a complete list of the products on our website. Hey, the big bucks are up again. After no report of a Powerball winner last night, the jackpot climbed to over 650 million smackers. That's a cash value of over 350 million. The next drawing is set for tomorrow night at 10:59 Eastern Standard Time.
Smacker, I like that.
Right.
Smackers.
That's a lot of money.
All right, the soaring price of eggs has no doubt been a hot topic of conversation over the past few weeks. Egg prices are up 60% from this time last year. Since it does not seem like prices will ease soon, many are looking for cost-saving hacks in the kitchen to combat the war on consumers' wallets. So according to the USDA, you can take an egg out of its shell and store it in the freezer. They say this will actually preserve the egg for up to 1 calendar year. I did not know this.
You have to do it in a certain way. So if you're going to do, like, you have to take it out of the, shell, of course, right? And you put it in there, and then you have to stir it up, right? You have
Like
to
a
mix up
scrambled
the yolk and the white, okay? Then if you just have whites for some reason, you can stir them up and put them by themselves. Now, if you just have a yolk by itself, without the white, it does not freeze the right way. It almost becomes like gel.
Gelatinous.
So you have to like add certain things, and there's
Yuck.
certain things like either salt or sugar that you can add to make sure that that doesn't happen.
So one thing I do is I make those little egg muffins.
I do too.
And I freeze those. I make
Yes.
big batches of them and
that's a
just
good
shove them in the
idea.
freezer so before work I can pop it in the microwave.
Do you put stuff in it?
Oh,
like
the
anything?
spinach, the sausage,
Yeah,
the
all
peppers,
the
the
cheese.
onions,
Oh.
all that.
I love that. So do you do them in like muffin tins? You
Yeah.
make them like that?
Super easy. You just scramble up some
mini
eggs, put it in
quiche.
there.
It is a mini quiche, but crustless, so you don't have that
Healthy.
extra carb.
Oh, that's right. Perfect.
But you got to have those non-stick pans. I've
Oh my
tried
gosh.
oiling them. Nothing
It does not
works.
work. I have thrown more muffin pans away because of that, because you're trying to dig those things out. Don't
And
do
I've
that.
tried the little cupcake tins.
Nah,
That's
that
just
doesn't work
hassle.
either, yeah.
And it's bad for the environment. Get the non-stick pan.
Or the
Yep.
silicone pan, it's easier.
Even those commercials when they show the nonstick like frying pans,
yeah.
it's unbelievable. They're like cooking an egg and they're just flipping the egg around in there.
That
like
never
it's
happens
nothing.
at home.
No, it,
It
does
does not.
not. Thank you.
It does
Listen,
not happen
we
at
have
home.
2 tested though, the red copper pans. They really work.
They do work.
If you're gonna get one, I recommend those.
Red copper.
Yeah, and then so like eggs, right? You're thinking to yourself, why do I have to freeze them? Well, if you buy in bulk, they're a whole lot cheaper. So like Harris Teeter and other places had like 30 eggs for like $10 or less. So it came out to like 27 cents an egg, which was a whole lot
gosh,
cheaper
yes.
than what you could do in some, dozens or whatever. But if you think to yourself, I'm not gonna eat all the eggs in time, you can freeze them. But
I could
aren't you
eat
gonna-
30
but
eggs
you're
in a
gonna,
week.
you're gonna,
Oh,
Yeah, easily.
probably, yeah.
30 eggs in a week.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think if you,
That's like 4 a day.
Well,
My math
but-
is bad.
I
eats
could
that
do
many
it.
eggs a day?
I could do it because we have a family of 6. That's
Right.
that's why we can. Do
Okay,
it like that.
for those of you who are like me, like there's like,
How many
okay.
eggs do you eat scrambled?
One egg.
So they say you're supposed to eat as many as you can hold in your hand, and that's 4 for me.
You have a bigger hand.
That's
I got
true.
1 egg.
I do 2 eggs.
All right, so anyway, buy in bulk. There we go.
We'll be right back.
It has been nearly 3 years since then President Trump announced emergency measures to keep the public safe during the COVID pandemic. 3 long years. Now the White House says it will end the public emergency declaration in May. Nicole D'Anto is in Capitol Hill, where some Republicans are saying they want to see the president act right now.
President Biden says in May, the emergency COVID declarations in place since the start of the pandemic will come to an end. The move will mean an end to free testing, treatments, and vaccines.
This is particularly concerning since COVID disproportionately hits those segments of the population that have the most difficulty accessing good medical care and preventive health services.
It could also end Title 42, the Trump-era policy barring asylum seekers from entering the country due to the pandemic. Some Republican-led states have already sued to keep that policy in place. The Supreme Court is set to hear arguments later this month.
Smaller emergency will end when the Supreme Court ends it. We've extended to May the 15th to make sure we get everything done.
While many Republicans want to keep Title 42, they say the administration should be ending other pandemic emergency policies now and plan to vote on a bill to do just that.
Mr. President, if you know it's the right thing to do, don't wait until May. Let's open our country back up again, get our economy back up again.
But Democrats say it takes some time to wind this down right.
We want to make sure that the vaccine remains accessible to people. We want to make sure that testing is available through insurance programs. Those are the types of things that we're concerned about.
Meanwhile, the House Oversight Committee holds its first hearing under Republican leadership Wednesday, looking into potential fraud and abuse of federal pandemic relief money. Nicole D'Antonio, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
I will say it's starting to feel like the emergency is over.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're all hesitant. For me, I feel like we're to the point now where it's like you're just going to get that like a flu shot.
Right.
I mean, to me, could they have we talked about this? Where could you combine the flu and the COVID shot?
They're trying
together?
to figure that out.
Because I would love just to get the one shot. I don't know if that's possible though.
I don't know.
Does it bother you?
To get more than one shot?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I don't care. It doesn't scare me. I just get it over with in one thing, you know.
Mm-hmm. I just think that, it's one of these things where we're just going to have to live with it, and we all just need to like calm down some.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna, possibly get sick. You're gonna have to stay home for a couple days, and then, you can move about, your daily life.
Totally. It is important, though, to remember that there are still a lot of people dying from this in the U.S. every day. Health data shows an average of 500 people die each day in the U.S. from COVID-19. That's still way more than we see with the flu.
Which is why when you get it, stay home, right? Don't be giving it to other people. Don't be like, I know that I have it, but I just needed to go to the... No, just stay home, right?
That's true.
And if you know you're at high risk, get treatment as soon as you show a sign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, let's take a break. We'll see you in a bit. You know, a lot of us dream of the bands we grew up with and their wonderful concerts that we attended. So I asked you on Facebook, what if you could reunite any band and go see them? Who would it be and why? Patricia said, all right, self-plug here. Yeah, I forgot I put this in there. Patricia said, Eric and the Chill Tones, miss seeing y'all every year in Denton. I love beach music. Yes, well, we might be back in a year or two.
Maybe a live appearance here on the 4 to 5.
No, the problem with that is that we do cover tunes, so we can't can't do them.
Mm-hmm.
Eva says Larry Graham, what he did with his guitar was something to behold. That's true, an excellent musician. Karen said Alabama. She's going way on back. Cindy Shue Hatchell said the Beatles. We got a lot of that, by the way. Paul Court said Journey. I probably don't have to explain why. And Bonnie said the Beatles, without a doubt. I would have to go. Well, Beatles is yes, of course. The Beatles. That's like you can't. That's way out there. But Journey is one because Steve Perry. Nobody sings Journey like Steve Perry.
Even though he's close.
Yeah.
The dude is close.
Oh, the new guy.
Yeah.
Yes. No, he is close.
Yeah.
There are so many tribute bands, though, at this point. I feel like they've been reunited.
You sort of do. I've seen them in concert without Steve Perry. So funny thing with Steve Perry, he went through stage fright. And so he lost his wife to cancer. That was a whole other thing. One thing she said before she passed away is, I want you back on stage at some point. So he's still trying to consider it. But isn't that funny to be that big and to do that many concerts and yet stage fright gets you? Yeah. He was an incredible voice. When you hear bands do Don't Stop Believing, nobody sings like Steve Perry.
In fact, that was part of the, I went to the Toby Mac Crowder concert, right? It's a Christian concert, and in the middle they have a dance party and they start playing Journey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and everybody's singing.
Of course.
No matter where you are, if that song comes on, people will dance.
Yes.
You can be at the grocery store, getting your
true.
vegetables,
That's right.
and you will see people starting to dance.
That is
So
absolutely true.
It gets you going, for sure.
There are certain songs like that, like Sweet Caroline. Everybody loves that
Dun,
song.
dun, dun.
Yep. Great songs. Write those down as karaoke favorites. You'll always be a crowd pleaser. Let's talk about our forecast if we can real quick. No, not this go around, that's for sure. Let me grab my remote control here. I can't tell you what the weather's going to be. We're looking at temperatures in the 50s for the most part now. So when you look at this, mid-50s, I mean, that's pretty much everywhere, right? We're between 52 and 55 for the majority of the viewing area. Save down to the south, Pinehurst at 60 and 57 in Troy, but always warmer down that way. 42 tonight, increasing clouds, scattered showers. Tomorrow, still, again, a few showers and mostly cloudy. Notice the temperatures not changing a whole lot. Big blanket of clouds over us tonight. That keeps things kind of on the same playing field there. So low to mid 40s. We're going to be that way overnight tonight and through most of the day tomorrow. Rain coming in. You can see some of this now already. I want to go out to the wider shot to show you. This is the second, and actually I should say second and third system. One low pressure moves by. We've got two others that are just lined up to move in. So our rain chances, even though they vary a little bit, they stay with us for about 3 days. So probably a 30% chance for today, but then we're bringing that up to a 50 and 60 for Wednesday and Thursday. It's by Friday that a lot of that skirts by and we don't see quite as much. Here's what it looks like with the Futurecast timestamp up here. That's 2 a.m. Wednesday, so overnight tonight you could see periods of heavy rain. You can see it's just kind of on again, off again. This is Wednesday during the afternoon, now the evening, and then that second system comes in on Thursday with all of that mess that you see right there. So some decent showers, but we don't think the totals will be all that impressive, maybe an inch or less. Mid-40 or low to mid-40s, we should say, for the next 3 days. That's through Friday. The difference, rainy Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday's clearing. By Saturday, it's cold and clear. Partly cloudy and 37. Look at the overnight lows though. Saturday morning, 23 for the morning temperature as you step out. And then Sunday, that's the day we're watching. The high's 42, but it's really the morning rain. The cold air will move into place, but will it be cold enough to have any type of frozen precipitation? What we think is the ground's going to be cold enough with the day before being only in the 30s that if we could have some freezing rain. But again, bridges, overpasses, and really we don't think this is a major issue. Next week, back to the 50s and clearing.
firefighters will end up.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2. It's crazy to be out here a year later. This time.
I'm sure I do. Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. I like the hair all flippy.
Don't stop believing.
Hello, did Tony Soprano get whacked? That's what I think about with that song. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breaking right now, a student is in custody.
Hi there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that must be.
Hi, mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mic check, mic.
Hi there, happy Tuesday. It's time for my 2 cents. And today we're going to talk a little bit about winter weather. So there's been a hint of talk of maybe some rain, but maybe light freezing rain at the end of this on Sunday morning, but nothing to be alarmed about. And it's so far out, we can't really make that call yet. But it got me thinking about winter weather and how much people love it or hate it, right? It's kind of a thing. Well, I was reading an article on Environmental Defense Fund, and they were talking about, a warmer planet. That leads to more moisture in the atmosphere. Now, that means all the air that we're breathing has these little particles of moisture in it. But if it's warmer, even throughout the year, then more of that moisture is in the atmosphere. So what ends up happening is we may not go below freezing as frequently if that's the case, but when it does, we get bigger snowstorms. So less frequent snowstorms, but when they do happen, they yield more snow. So while the average amount of snow may be down, the amount during an actual snowstorm is on the increase. That's good and bad. If you're like me, a good Carolina snowstorm is 4 or 5 inches, and within a day or two, it's completely gone, and we're back up to 50, 55 degrees again. There was a stat that was interesting. They said if 40% of U.S. counties have had the highest 2-day snow totals in their history, and all that's been just since 1980. From the time we've been keeping records. So there may be some truth to that. So if you're like me and you're a snow lover, but you don't like a lot of it, then maybe I'd like to have maybe 1 or 2 of those decent sized storms as opposed to a lot of little nuisance storms. Take your pick. There are going to be people on both sides of this argument in North Carolina forever. That's just my 2 cents, and that's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
Breaking news right now on WFMY News 2 at 5 o'clock. Police say a student is now in custody after social media threats shut down an entire Triad school system. Students and staff at 4 Elkin City schools stayed home today while authorities investigated.
The district says classes will resume tomorrow. However,